Okay, I've turned on the recording, and this is live Q&A with Len. And the first question that I have that I want to address today is a question that I've asked several times, and that is, excuse me, and that is dealing with friend requests on Facebook. So there's really several questions in this question. The first question comes from Cynthia. It says, what do I do when I get a friend request and there's no message and there's no mutual friends and I have no idea who the person is? What do I do with it? And Cynthia, that is a really good question. So let me give you my answer for that question. The first thing I always do is I go to the person's personal profile page. Now, many people do send out friend requests without messages, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So the first thing I do is I go to the personal profile page and I look at their personal profile. And now, this is admittedly somewhat subjective. And the reason I did this in a Zoom room today is I could do a screen share and show you some examples, but let's just talk about it. I look for the normal things that you would expect to find in a profile for someone who's real and serious. Do they have a good profile picture? Yes or no? And, you know, we teach that you should have a full face picture, okay? Now, not everybody does, so it's not a total disqualifier if they don't. Then I look for the cover photo. Do they have a cover photo? If it's a fake profile, many times the cover photo simply doesn't exist. It's just black. It's just a black background. That's a huge clue that this might not be a real profile that you want to have anything to do with. But again, it's still not a total disqualifier because this person just maybe somebody new who doesn't know how to build a profile correctly. So I still keep that in mind. Okay, so that's it. Then the next thing I look at is, have they been posting? Are there posts there? And if there's no posts, or there's like one post, in many cases, if it's like, I get solicited all the time by a beautiful young woman who wants to be my friend. And I've gone down this road. I know where it heads, and where it heads is send me money because I want to come. I love you. I want to come visit you. Send me money so I can buy a ticket. And, you know, that we're not going there. We're just not going there. You buy a ticket and come visit, and then we'll talk. So if it's just a profile picture of a good-looking girl, for example, and then there's a post with the same picture, and there's nothing else, and it's a black background, it's like, well, you know what this is. You can just delete this one, okay? So look for things that are reasonable. A good profile picture, a good cover photo, some reasonable posts. Maybe we don't have any friends in common, but you can see they have a description. It says what they do. Like they're into dog training, or they're into, they work from home, or they're a mompreneur or something that you can say, okay, this looks like it might be a real person. Now, you got to also ask yourself, why are you on Facebook? If you want to meet people that are potential business partners, then someone who's relatively new to Facebook and doesn't have a good profile, et cetera, set up for themselves yet, maybe can use some training, maybe as a coaching candidate. You can say, hey, maybe I can coach this person. And you might want to accept their friend request, start a conversation, and see where it goes. So these are some things that you have to consider. So again, just because they don't have a message and they don't have a good cover photo and they don't have a good profile picture doesn't mean that you want to reject them. Hello, Cynthia. Welcome aboard.
Hi, William.
So it's up to you if you want to turn your camera on or not. I really don't care. In fact, I was just talking about, I used your name in vain because I was readdressing the question you asked. What do I do with Facebook friend requests that don't have a message? We don't have any friends in common, and I really don't know anything about the person.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just talking a little bit about that. And once again, as we've discussed, the first thing that I always do is I always go to their personal profile page, and I look at the profile picture. Is it a real person? I look at the cover photo. Do they have a reasonable cover photo? And while many people don't have a reasonable, may not have a reasonable cover photo or the profile picture, I mean, people that are legitimate people sometimes don't have a profile picture that shows their face. They've got a funny little image of their dog or their cat or their grandmother or something. So that's not a total disqualifier. To me, when I see somebody like that, the first thing that runs through my mind is, well, if they're interested in building a business online, they're a coaching candidate. I might be able to help them. So I might consider them as a coaching candidate. As I've said before, I get a lot of requests from young women, and my good friend Bob Miller used to say that the pictures weren't real, that the person sending the request was really a fat old man smoking a cigar in a smoke-filled room somewhere in Timbuktu. And that's always possible. I mean, you don't know who's behind the profile. But I do get profile requests from young women that, I mean, it's just obvious. And, where it goes, the rabbit hole it goes down is ultimately what they want to do is get you to send them money because they love you and they want to come visit. So, we discount those. So if they haven't been posting, there's no profile, or there's just one profile picture, there's no cover photo, there's no friends in common, there's no message, there's nothing you can grab a hold of. Typically, I'll just delete it. Now, you're getting pictures from people in the military. I got one the other day, a picture of a really gorgeous woman, really pretty, and her cover photo had a picture of a bunch of soldiers on it, and her description said she was in the military. Well, I don't think a woman who's in the military is going to be sending are going to have a profile page that has her her personal profile image as a I wasn't, she wasn't scantily clad in the sense that it wasn't a lingerie or anything, but she didn't have a lot of clothes on. Let's just put it that way. And says she's in the military and has a picture of a bunch of soldiers there. So I guess we can maybe assume what she's doing in the military. I don't know, but probably cause money and isn't legal. So I didn't accept her. So you just have to use in the final analysis, you have to use your own personal judgment and just go look at the profile pictures. If there's any question in my mind, is this person a coaching candidate? Like, okay, they've got a lousy cover photo and they don't have a good profile picture and they don't have a good description. Well, maybe I can sell them a coaching program and I can help them if they're really legitimate, interested in online business. So occasionally, I mean, I'll take one of these profiles that to me is marginal, it's a little marginal, and I'll just shoot them a message and say, hey, where did you find me and what can I do for you? And what is your interest? And if I get an answer back that says, well, I think you're cute, which I do. I get answers like that. Oh, I think you're really good looking, or I think you're cute, or I just want to get to know you better, or I just want to be friends on Facebook. And I'm not going anywhere with that because I don't have time for it, and I'm not interested. So does that answer your question?
It does. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that does. In fact, this morning I got a call from someone in a different state, and he didn't sound like the picture that he had on Facebook. So I'm trying to block him. I think he keeps calling. So he could be calling in the middle of this call.
Well, how's he calling? You mean he's Facebook? I mean on Facebook, like on chat?
On the messenger.
Yeah, messenger. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't have any trouble blocking him. That's one of the options on Messenger is to just go up and block him.
Okay.
That should not be hard at all.
It just doesn't sound like the same person that I saw in the picture. To me, he sounds like a foreigner, and this person doesn't really look like a foreigner.
Yeah.
So to me, the pictures and the voice didn't correspond.
Yeah.
There's something fishy about it, in my opinion.
Sure. Sure,
And he
absolutely.
wouldn't answer my question as to why he even was contacting me. Just that he saw my picture. To me, that's not a reason.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. Oh, so who knows? I mean, I know when I have girls contacting me, I know what the bottom line is. The bottom line is if I let it go long enough, they're going to ask me for money to come visit me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bottom line. Now I had a guy from you know what? It doesn't matter. From a country in Africa. I don't remember which country.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The country doesn't matter. And his gig was he was trying to support his family, and his wife was sick, and they didn't have any work, and he had to go out into the woods and forage for firewood and sell firewood for money. And what he wanted me to do was buy him a bag of rice so he could feed his family. So, and you know, the reality is, if I had really believed that he really needed a bag of rice to feed his family, I would have happily bought him a bag of rice. So I took it one step further. I said, okay, you know, let me give him the benefit of the doubt for a moment. I asked him how much money he needed for a bag of rice, and it was $1,000 US.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone, well,
that's not right then.
No. You know, he says, oh, rice is very expensive here, very expensive. So I just went online and I looked up. I just Googled the price of rice in whatever country it was, and you know, I came up with a number like $10 or $15 or $20.
Yeah.
You know, equivalent in the local currency. And I said, okay, this guy's full of BS. And that was the end of that story. So,
although some people like that could actually be wanting to support their family and relatives or something, because I saw something on Facebook where some guy took it to the next step, and he found out that this guy, he sent him some money to take pictures, and they ended up making a picture book, and he sold that, and he used that money. He took part of the money, and the other guy took money, and he used that money to help people in his village.
yeah.
So it was legitimate.
Well, there are some legitimate ones, but there's also several organizations that really deal with that sort of issue, and they're working on the ground in those countries to help people. So, you know, it's like, you know, you can send money to an individual and hope that it's going to be used for a good purpose, or you can send the money to one of the organizations that is really working on the ground and helping people. And,
right. That would be the safest way.
Yeah. And there's a number of those. And I mean, pulling a blank off the top of my head with the names of those organizations, but it wouldn't be hard to find one. And so, you know, so that was it. Someone else submitted a question, but they're not here, and I don't remember what their question was. So that's the only question that I had for today. Unless you have anything else, we'll call it a wrap.
So I can go into Messenger and block this person, because I tried to go into his profile and I couldn't get into it.
Well, you know what? Hang on. I'm going to just jump out to Facebook here real quick, because I believe so. So here I am on Facebook. But let me just take this guy, John. I've been communicating with this guy, but if I just go up here, yeah, see, block message is right there, and report.
Okay.
So yeah, just in the little wheel.
In the wheel.
Yeah, and I don't want to block John, but in the little wheel.
No, you're corresponding with him.
Right. In the little wheel, you can just block messages, and then you can report them. So that's what I would do, you know. And let me stop the share. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming, and we'll call it a wrap for today, since that's the only question we got today.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Len.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.